Hello and welcome to us um, us joining together today for some healing yoga. Thanks to Above and Beyond Cancer for making this class possible for all of you. Glad that you are here. For today's practice, a block will be very helpful, but as always, it's not a requirement. The the requirement is that you are here and that you are present. And I'm so glad that you are. We'll get started in just a moment. Go ahead and say hello in the comments if you would like to, and we'll begin very shortly. So we'll begin by finding a comfortable seat. I'm Janice Ware, if this is your first time viewing. And in this class, we're moving the body slowly and gently with the breath. And variations will be offered for you to practice either seated or standing. You can move between the two. And one of the most important tenets of yoga is ahimsa, and that means to do no harm. And that includes to yourself as well. So if at any time during the practice something should hurt or strain or pinch, please back up from that and be gentle. Be gentle with yourself. It's very important. And so, with that being said, let's go ahead and begin. So, find a comfortable seat, whether that's on your mat or on a chair. And I invite you to close your eyes. Just sitting nice and tall. And we'll take a moment to visit the breath, to notice the breath. There's no need to change it. Just simply notice it. And be aware of it. The breath is the most important part of yoga. There's a saying that says if you can breathe, you can do yoga. It's very true. So as we continue on with our time of centering, I invite you to bring one or both hands to your heart center. And you may even notice the gentle rise and fall of your chest as you breathe. And then take a moment to place in your heart someone or something for which you are feeling especially grateful. On this day, this week, in this life. And then allowing the hands to rest in the lap. You can have palms up or down, either way is fine. We'll take a moment to do a body scan. So we'll begin with the toes. And what we're doing is we're taking a time to see what we notice happening in the body, tension, discomfort, any areas that may be in need of a little extra love today. And we'll begin with the toes and the feet, your legs, knees, your seat, and your torso, both the front body and the back body. Shoulders, arms, hands and fingers, neck, head, and face. Next, we'll take a long inhale and visualize sending our amazing, beautiful healing breath to those areas that are in need or simply throughout the whole body. And as we exhale, releasing what is not serving us. So let's breathe in, just feeling and visualizing that breath traveling through the body. And breathe out, releasing what no longer serves. Go ahead and do that a couple of more times. Breathing in and out. And one more time. Inhaling and exhaling. And as you continue to sit during this centering time, I'd like to share with you our focus for today. And it's Satya. It's the second yama of yoga. And Satya is about living in a way that aligns with your highest truth. There is balance, though. Acting with compassion for others is also important. Our yoga practice is here to serve our bodies and minds, not harm our joints and ligaments. So each time we get on the mat, it's important to have a complete honesty with what we actually need in that very moment. On a physical and emotional level, we change all the time. So fixating upon one way of practicing isn't always going to work out. When we can get the ego mind out of the way, you know, the one that tells us we should be able to do this or we should be able to do that, this offers us a way to uncover a more pure and beneficial way of practicing and treating ourselves on all levels. And with others, we can consider the motives behind our actions. Will it truly serve the other person? Or am I doing or saying this because of a need to prove something or gain something? Pause for thought. This is a useful tool to help us apply both Satya, truth, and Ahimsa, non-harming, to our situations. So we'll continue with a practice that begins with a mudra known as Kali Mudra. And you interlace your fingers and thumb, with your right thumb being on top, and then with your index fingers pointing upward, close to your chest. And imagine the index fingers representing a sword that slays illusions. Lift your hands over your head as you inhale. And as you exhale, bring them back toward the heart level and visualize your sword cutting through whatever may cause you to be inauthentic at times. So we'll breathe in and out, slaying through those illusions. And as we breathe in, we can say Sat, and as we exhale, Nam. Sat Nam means I am truth. Inhale, Sat. Exhale, Nam. Or you can simply move the hands with the breath. We all have that truth inside of us. It's there. Yeah. And then just go ahead and release the mudra and let your hands relax down in your lap. And we'll move into warming up the body. This is the time we begin our movement or asana practice. So let's get started. We'll do the 8 essential sitting movements today, and we'll begin with our hands crossed in front of our heart. Just take a breath here. Then interlace the fingers and outstretch the arms, keeping a slight bend in the elbow. And we'll inhale and bring them upward, just as far as is comfortable in your body. Exhale, lower. Breathe in and out. We'll do that one more time. Breathing in and out. Lovely. And then cross the wrists at heart center. Next, we'll move on to bringing one arm extended upward, one downward. And the extended arm upward, the wrist is going to bend and the fingertips will point toward behind you. The other arm, the wrist will bend and the fingertips will point forward. And we'll just extend out toward both of those arms, wrists, and hands. As we inhale, and then as we exhale, we'll slowly switch positions. And then inhale to the other side. So now the opposite hand is pointing backwards, and the other hand is pointing forward. And then we'll exhale as we switch them out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. And this time we'll bring both hands forward, relax the wrists and cross them in front of the heart center. And take a moment here. You feel your heart beating? Yeah. So now we'll come forward a bit, keeping a nice long spine, and just place our hands on the tops of our shins. And notice how you can pull without really moving the hand. You can pull like on the skin of the shins. And if that's a little bit much of a stretch to do that, you can bring your feet up on blocks. Okay? Or you can just simply place the hands above the knees. Okay, because we don't want any strain here. So we'll come forward and place our hands on the shins. And then as we inhale, we'll pull up and come up on our toes. Exhale, lower. Breathing in, so the hand isn't really moving other than to pull. Exhale, lower. You can see how that feels. So breathing in, up on tiptoes, keeping that nice long spine. Exhale, lower. Breathing in and out. And if that's a strain, just put your hands up on your legs and you can pull there. So pulling here and lower. Remember, there's no pain or strain in yoga. One more time, breathing in and out. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And now keeping our hands here and actually pulling again, only this time hands are on the thighs, pulling back as you lift the heart forward. You might bring the shoulders back a little bit, but not forcing anything. And then exhale, coming into a slight forward bend, keeping the spine long, hinging from the hips, not the waist. And then we breathe in, lifting the heart, and breathe out, half fold. We'll do that again. And then come to center, crossing the wrists but across, by the heart. Stumbling over my words today. So from here we'll clench the fists and bring them back towards our sides. And then we'll press forward with one, bring it back, press forward with the other, engaging the arm. And then we'll go upward, crossing the body, downward, and then releasing those fingers, bringing the hands to heart center. Go ahead and reach one arm out to the side as if you're holding a bow, as in bow and arrow, as if you're holding a bow. And bring the other arm around as if you're pulling back on that string. So both arms are very engaged because you're holding that bow steady, pulling back on that string, and there's resistance. Your focus, and then when you're ready, release. We'll bring our hands to heart center. Now we'll go ahead and do that on the other side. So take the other arm outward, holding that bow strong and steady. Bring the other arm around, pulling the string back, both arms engaged and strong. And then when you're ready, you can release it. And let your hands relax, crossing the wrists at heart center. From here, we'll bring our arms wide, yet relaxed. So let those shoulders relax, even though the arms are outstretched. And as we inhale, we'll take a turn and look behind us. So your head may only turn to the side, but your eyes can keep going. And then we'll exhale to center. Inhale, arms outward. This time we're going to take our gaze to the other side and gaze behind us. Exhale to center. We'll continue to move through that. So we let our neck stop turning when we just get to the side, because we don't want to force anything there. But the eyes can move. They can keep going. Looking behind. And then bring your wrist to heart center. Take a breath. And then put your hands on your hips. So we'll do a bit of hinging forward and coming back. Going from one side, then the other. So bringing our head forward. And then going from side to side. This is known as swaying the head and wagging the tail. So head forward. And then wagging the tail. And then come back to center, bringing your hands to heart center. Anjali Mudra. And now let's just inhale and take a nice breath in and an exhale. Let's do that 2 more times, breathing in and out. And in and out. All right. Great. Well, let's move ahead and to our asana practice for today. And we'll begin with Tadasana. And you can practice this seated or standing. If you're practicing it seated, it'd be nice to think about a 90-degree angle here in the hips, the knees, and the ankles. Okay, so that's something to consider. And either standing tall or sitting tall. Lift all 10 toes and root down into the big toe mound, the little toe mound, and the heel. Really press into the earth. Those 3 points and feel the engagement of your legs. Standing friends, keep a slight bend in your knee, please. Okay, and then you can relax the toes down, but keep the engagement in the legs. And we just draw in at our center, be strong, supporting our back. Relax the shoulders down. Just arms at sides, palms facing forward. Maybe just lift the heart a tiny tad and lower the chin slightly. This is Tadasana, mountain posture. So there are 4 words that come to mind with this posture, and you might think about these as how they may relate to truth. And strength, stillness, stability, serenity. Tadasana. Such a strong, strong pose. Lovely. And from here, we'll bring our arms outward, interlace our fingers with that finger pointing upward again, and bring our hands above our head. Now, if this is to be gentler on the shoulders, make more of a circle. So do what's best for your body, right? Yeah. And then we'll inhale. And as we exhale, we'll just do a little crescent moon to the side. Just bringing some expansion into that side body. Come back to center and inhale. And as we exhale, we'll go to the other side. Come back to center. And bring your hands to heart center. So, moving into a flow, we'll inhale, bring our arms upward. Exhale, half fold. Now, before we do this, you can decide if you want to practice seated or standing. If you're practicing a half fold seated, your hands are here and you're hinging from the hips and just coming down about halfway to your lap. If you're practicing a half fold standing from your mountain, then you'll still hinge from the hips, but you might come down no further than this. And however far you fold forward is perfect for you. Okay. We also will play a little bit with a lunge. So if you're practicing standing, then you step your foot back for a lunge and bend the front knee. And if we're practicing seated, we'll bring the knee to chest. Okay. And then for downward facing dog, we extend the arms and the legs when we're seated. And if you'd like to practice it from a chair, you can press your hands on the seat of the chair and then press back. I need to scoot over a little bit here. And then press back for your downward facing dog. So those are some options. So it'll be a nice, gentle flow. So you can decide if you want to practice seated or standing. It's up to you. Okay, let's begin. We'll go through it a couple of times, and the first time we go through it, I'll be sitting, and the second time I'll be standing. And you can do it either way. You decide. All right, let's inhale. Take our arms to the sky. Exhale, half fold. Inhale, reaching upward. Exhale, one arm down, the other one reaching behind you. And then breathing in and out. Breathing in and come back into a half fold. Breathing in. Exhale, hands to heart center. Step one foot back into a lunge, or take the knee to chest, pressing out through both feet. One into the earth and the other might be in the air, but engage the legs. Exhale, bring that back foot forward. And then we'll step the other foot back. So seated, we're pressing out through the feet, even though one of them is up in the air. And then we'll exhale, bring both back. Bring both feet forward. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale, half fold. From the half fold, you can step both feet back into downward facing dog. Those of us in the chair will extend our legs and press out through our hands and feet. Just kind of leaning forward slightly. We'll be here for a couple of breaths. And then bringing the feet back to center. Inhaling, coming to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center. Okay. Breathe in. Exhale, half fold. Inhale, arms upward. Exhale, hands to heart center. So there's a lot of movement with the breath to create warmth and fluidity with the body and with the energy. We'll move through that again. This time I'll be standing. You can continue to sit or you can stand. It's up to you. So we'll inhale, bring our hands to sky. Exhale, half fold. Inhale, hands to sky. Exhale, one arm at your side, the other one reaching back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, reaching back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, half fold. Inhale here. Exhale, step one foot back to a lunge or bring the knee to chest if you're sitting and press out through both feet. Bring that back foot forward and we'll do a lunge on the other side. Inhale, back foot forward. Exhale, come to standing. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to chair. Inhale, step back into downward facing dog or extend your arms and legs outward if you're practicing it in the chair. Breathing in and out here. Inhale, bring both feet to earth, to mountain posture. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Okay. Right. So just some variations there. Always feel free to explore. And if there's some other movement that feels good in your body, even though I'm not doing it, if it feels good to you and it's safe, just know it's your practice. And maybe you have favorite moves that you like to do. And they might not be the ones I'm doing today, but you have your yoga to practice. I'm your guide here, and we explore together. And I wish I could see you, but I can't. So I just trust that you will honor your body. All right, let's come back into Tadasana. And then we'll take one leg out to the side. And then we'll inhale, interlace the fingers, coming back to that Kali Mudra, bringing it upward. Both feet pressing into the earth and lifting the chest. And just holding this posture as you breathe in and out. If you're standing, you'll step a foot back, bend the front knee, and it would look like this. So whether you're standing and whether you're sitting, you're practicing this crescent lunge, lifting the heart, also known as Warrior One, just another variation. Breathing in and out, and then let's bring our arms down and bring our feet back to mountain. Now we'll move to the other side. So we'll step the opposite foot back or off to the side. Feet pressing into the earth, so strong. It's just strong, stable foundation. Bring your arms outward, and we'll inhale, bring them upward, and exhale. We'll just breathe in and out here. And if this is a bit intense, just bring it down a little bit. It's fine. Lift the heart. And if you don't want to practice the mudra, maybe you just want to do this. Honor your body, honor your shoulders. No pain, no pain here. It's what feels good in your body. And then we'll release that, bring that back foot forward. And then if you're seated, we'll heel toe the foot around and come back into Tadasana. Whew. Yeah. And from here, we'll explore a little bit with half moon or Ardha Chandrasana. So you have a block, that would be really handy here. Really handy. And if you have two blocks, that would be great too. But we'll just pretend that you have one and we'll work it that way. So first of all, come into center into your Tadasana. I have a little trouble seeing this here. There we go. Okay. And then we'll just take one leg out to the side and extend it a bit. And then you could even start with the block in your hand. And then we'll bring it like so. Okay. So both feet are pressing, or definitely this foot is pressing into the earth. And this one might be a little more chill, a little more relaxed. You could even explore just lifting the foot off the floor an inch. It is a balance posture. And if that's a bit too intense, you can simply extend the leg and keep the heel on the floor, and that's fine too. And then from here, we'll come up, lower the arms, and then we'll come to the other side. Might say, well, I don't have a block. So if you don't have a block, I'll share with you what you can do there. So we get our foundation built here. And if you don't have a block, you're not going to reach down so much. You'll think more about extending upward. Okay. And then if you want to explore taking that heel up, you can, or you can keep it on the earth. All kinds of balance going on here, even on the chair. And then lower that foot down, bring your arms around, and heel toe that foot back to center. Now we'll do it one more time, and you can do it seated, or you could explore standing. So if you wanted to explore standing, it's nice to do it against a wall. Otherwise, it can be supportive to have a chair here. All right, so we'll decide which is your supporting leg. Okay. And then we'll come down to the chair and extend the other leg like this. And then bring everything in and support yourself as you come back up to standing. And then, whoops, we'll try it on the other side. Okay, so finding your Tadasana. Okay, you have the chair here, and you can kind of lower yourself, support it. This other foot come up, and then bring the other arm up, like this. And we'll bring them in, and return to standing, Tadasana. Yeah, so that's Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Some versions, some variations that you can explore today. It's a wonderful one, though, for just bringing a lot of openness and honesty into the yoga practice, as long as it's done safely and with awareness. Let's check out some tree, as long as we're up, or you can practice it seated. If you want to practice tree seated, you have options. First, we let the hip kind of just kind of splay open a bit. And you can be right here. And this would be the leg that you root down into and would be active. Let's just all try that. So in this position, rooting down into the supporting leg. So an open. Your hands might be at heart center, outward, rounded, or upward. And your supporting leg is active and engaged. This muscle, it is working. Okay, and then let's let that leg relax a little and bring our hands to heart center. Another option would be to either bring your foot up on a block or to cross the ankle over the knee. Depends on the body, depends on what feels best to you. Okay, so if you want to practice it seated again, those are your other two options that you have for your foundation. If you would like to explore practicing standing, you do have a chair, so you can have the chair in front of you or off to the side. Okay, and we begin in Tadasana. Let's all decide what our root down into our supporting leg. Okay, and then just bring that heel of the other foot up and turn that hip outward. So you could just be right here, right here. Definitely balance and choose your hand position. Okay. If you have a block, you could see what it's like to have your foot up on a block. And just bringing it up a little higher. Maybe you want to explore bringing the foot to the inside of the leg. The really important part for all of us when we're practicing a balanced posture is to have a focal point or a drishti. So something that you're looking at that is not moving. And oftentimes it can be helpful to look at something that's maybe about 6 feet out on the floor rather than straight ahead. You can place your gaze on that, build your foundation, and then decide what you want to do with your arms. Nice tall spine, but gaze on that drishti. Right. Okay, we'll bring that leg around, foot down, and let's go to the other side. So you can do the other sides, seated or standing as well. Excuse me. So let's check it out. So now the other leg will be your supporting leg, and you can decide where you want your foot position to be, whether you're seated or standing, what is going to feel best in your body today. Okay. Always, always honoring and respecting our body's messages and being honest about what's best, and also compassionate and kind and caring. All right, so you've built your foundation You can have your hands at heart center, just wherever you want them to be. What feels best to you? And then find that focal point. On the chair, press that supporting leg into the earth so that leg's engaged. And find your focal point. Keep breathing. You can explore a different position if you want to. You don't have to hold it the same way the whole time. It's exploration. And then when you're ready, bring that foot to earth, your hands to center, and come back into Tadasana. From here, we'll take the legs wide, either seated or standing. If you have a block, be nice to put about right here. And we'll do a wide-legged forward fold. So the legs are wide. We'll be hinging from our hips. How far you fold can vary. So for some of us, maybe we'll just fold about this far. Maybe for us, a forward fold, whether it's half or full or whatever you want to call it, this is where is best for us. Okay? Maybe we can come a little further by putting the forearms on the legs, if that feels right in our body. Maybe we bring our hands to a block, bend our elbows, and hinge forward a bit more. You find the place that feels good in your body. The second you feel some strain in the lower back, you back up a bit. Okay, there should not be any strain in the lower back. It would hopefully feel good, but if it doesn't feel good, back up immediately, okay? And come back and find the spot where it does feel good. All right, let's all gently press ourselves back up to sitting. And we'll take our hands behind us and interlace the fingers and the thumb. Just bringing those together. This is the seal of yoga. The seal of yoga is like a surrender to our highest self. It seemed like a nice one to visit today since we're focusing on Satya, truth. Just breathe here. And then we'll release that seal of yoga. And we'll gently come back into that wide-legged forward fold again. Maybe not quite as, if you went pretty far the first time, maybe don't come quite that far. Because we'll be bringing our hands to heart center. And then as we do so, we're just going to be rotating a little bit. Not completely to the side. Kind of like a teeter-totter. And then come back to center. And we'll rotate to the other side. And then come back to center. And then bring one hand to the block. The other one to the hip. And see how that feels. Or you can continue with having the hands at heart center. Or if you have a block, you can use that. So rotated, wide-legged forward fold. A nice gentle version to bring into the kind of the middle of our practice. Okay, you can set your block aside. And for seated bow, we'll take our feet as far back under the chair as we can get them. It feels good in our knees. So if I had a higher chair, this might feel better. So I'm not pushing it. This is as far as it's going to go for me. So you're up on your toes. Now, nice long spine. Relax your shoulders down and back. And then kind of reaching the hands backward, as if maybe you were reaching for your heels. find a gentle position for your neck. There's no need to be looking at the ceiling. You can lift the heart and get a beautiful back bend without straining the neck. Just keep breathing here. And then we'll just gently bring everything back to center. Hands. Gently bring one foot at a time back to center. And come back into Tadasana. And I just invite you to find your Tadasana. And you can close your eyes or just soften your gaze. Focus your gaze on a drishti. And just standing tall, long spine. The Yoga Sutras advise that if being honest in that moment is likely to cause harm to another, then it is best not to say or do anything at all. Satya always bows to ahimsa. Sometimes it is better to be kind than to be right. Finding that balance with ahimsa and satya, non-harming and truthfulness. Finding that balance. And when in doubt, choose compassion, choose non-harming, according to yoga philosophy. Yeah. All right, so from this, I would invite everyone to go ahead and take a seat. You could practice this on your back if you would like to lay back on your mat. I'll give you a moment to make your way to your mat. Maybe don't, and then get situated. Okay, and I'll cue for both those lying on their back on the mat and those of us in the chair. So those of you lying back on your mat, go ahead and bend both knees. Keep the feet flat on the earth. Okay. If you're lying on your mat, bring your arms to your sides so you have like this knife edge of your arm on the earth. Okay. Now, what we'll be doing is pressing, in just a moment, pressing into the feet and pressing our arms into the earth, or on the chair, we'll scoot forward a bit and we'll just place our hands kind of on the side of the chair here. All right. All right, so we have our points of grounding. Our feet are on the earth. Our arms or hands are kind of pressed down into something supporting. Now we'll gently press down into the feet and the hands. And those practicing on the chair, this is where we breathe. Those on the earth, maybe you can raise your bum up just a bit as you press in. You don't have to go high, just a little bit, and now let's all relax. Okay. So those of you practicing on the earth, you're just raising the buttocks a bit off the floor in a supportive manner. Okay, let's key into those 4 points of grounding, our feet, and then either your arms or your hands. Let's inhale. Let's exhale. We'll press. So this is bridge, a version of bridge. And then we'll relax, lower. And some of you might be saying, well, I could practice this in the chair and lift my bum up off the chair. Maybe you could, and it's not necessary for the practice and in the interest of ahimsa. This is where we're at, but you have your own practice to explore. Be careful. And make sure your chair's on a mat. All right, let's inhale. And then press our feet and hands to the mat. And then lower. You honestly feel that sensation of lifting in the chair. anyway, and it can be honestly a little too risky to try to press yourself up from a chair that way. But you could explore it lying down on the floor, and that gives you a little more, gives you a lot more stability and safety to experience bridge that way. All right, so go ahead. If you're on the floor, you don't need to get all the way up. Just roll to one side and then press up to sitting with your legs extended. And if you're on the chair, we're good. And I invite you to extend one leg. Keep one leg extended. Those of you on the floor, you can bend this other leg and just bring it up towards you a little bit, not super high. And we'll be exploring a posture called Janushasana, and it's head to knee. So a nice tall spine, and you might want to sit back on your chair a little bit so you don't have a sensation of falling off your chair, because we need that support. Okay. And then we'll just simply hinge, taking the head toward the knee, making sure floor or chair that there is a slight bend in that knee in the extended leg. And you're just hinging forward to it. Are we going to touch our head to the knee? Most likely not. It's not necessary. We just make our way toward there in just tiny micro steps. And when you find that spot where like, ooh, excuse me, that stretch feels really good in the leg, that's where you stay. And if you go too far and you're like, ugh, back up a little. So just building strength here in the upper body, the core helping us to remain, kind of hanging out in the air here. And then we'll go ahead and release and gently come back up to sitting. And then we'll go to the other leg. So extend the opposite leg now. The other leg, you can go ahead and just bend that knee if you're on your mat and let the leg rest. Okay, nice tall spine, hinging forward, head to knee. Making sure your knee is not hyperextended, that there's a slight bend in it. And you might find that one side is very different from the other. One side you may be able to come toward the knee a little further than the other. It's very normal. And then we'll gently come back up to seated. Great. All right, and then find a comfortable seated position. I'd like to share with you a second mudra that connects to Satya, our truth. And it's called, this mudra is a gesture of the treasure. And you bring your left hand kind of cupped forward, and you can continue to sit on your mat if you're comfortable there, or you can sit on the chair. It's up to you. But bring this forward, and then the right hand comes over to the other direction, over it, as if you're just cupping, cradling the most amazing treasure right there. You can just bring your hands out, your arms to your sides, and just let your hands relax there in Samputa Mudra. Satya means truth and refers to truthfulness in all of our communications. In order to practice truthfulness, we must first develop the ability to discern what truth is. This involves attuning to our authentic being beyond the conditioning of the personality. Until we are able to listen to the voice of our true being, our words may reflect what we believe, but our beliefs are usually just a reflection of our lens of conditioning. As we align with our authentic being, less identified with the subjective likes and dislikes. Our communication should also respect ahimsa, nonviolence, by speaking not only that which is true, but also that which will cause no harm or suffering to ourselves or others. Samputa means a treasure chest, and Samputa Mudra awakens us to the treasure of our true inner being, instilling a natural sense of integrity, allowing us to communicate our truth more clearly. And as you hold Samputa, just take several natural breaths to attune to all the feelings and sensations evoked by this gesture. Notice how your breath flows gently upward into your throat center, allowing you to breathe more freely within this area of your being. As your breath flows more freely, take some time to attune to the subtle sound of the breath within your air pathway. Sense how your inhalation naturally makes the sound so within your throat, and how your exhalation resonates with the sound hum. Take several breaths to listen to the sacred sound of so hum, reverberating within your throat center. Giving yourself a few breaths to experience this. Samputa Mudra. So hum. So hum. And when you're ready, you can continue this practice, or you can release the mudra and move into a comfortable position for Shavasana. Whatever your position your body is in is good, as long as you are able to rest and be at peace in that position. So make your way to that position whenever you are ready. Allowing the body to soften from the tips of your toes to the crown of your head. Everything softening, everything supported. Maybe placing the feet up on a block or footstool so you can have the legs splayed and totally relax. And I'll tone the bell when it's time for us to begin bringing our practice to a close. Ever so slowly and gently, begin bringing movement into the body, just beginning with your toes, your fingers, your feet, your hands, your ankles, your wrists. Perhaps moving your head from one side and then gently to the other side. Then bend one knee and then the other, bringing your feet to the earth. And if you're lying on your mat, roll to one side and rest there for a moment. Then extend the top leg, pressing yourself up into a seated position. And all of us returning to the seated position where we began class. We'll inhale, bring our arms upward, exhale, lower. Breathing in, gathering up all the goodness, and breathing out, releasing what is not serving you. Breathing in, bring the hands up above your crown, your shining, beautiful crown. And as you exhale, gently lower them and slowly toward your heart center, brushing your fingertips across your face as you bring the hands to rest in front of the heart in Anjali Mudra. It is an honor and a privilege for me to share this practice with you today. Thank you for being present with your practice. May you be safe, may you be well, and may you be filled with peace. Om Shanti. Take care and have a lovely rest of your day. We'll see you next time.